Welcome to Simple Kicking with your host, James Hairston.
Hey, everybody. I've got the SEC Roundtable, which really can be a national championship roundtable of sorts. Let's get right into it. Jack, go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go around the horn. State your name and where you play.
I'm Jack Podlesny, and I play at the University of Georgia.
I'm Will Reichard, and I'm the kicker at the University of Alabama.
My name is Cameron Little, and I'm the kicker at the University of Arkansas.
And I'm James Hairston, and I was the former backup kicker at LSU. Boys, what y'all think about that national championship basketball last night?
It's pretty wild. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting Kansas to come back from a 15-point deficit, so that was wild.
I'm going to be honest. I went to sleep at halftime, so.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was watching the whole thing, all clued in and everything, but it was fun for sure. It was a really good game.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm more impressed that Tiger Woods is playing in a practice round than the national championship for basketball.
That's crazy.
I like kicking, though. Hey, if we want to watch some kicking highlights, I was probably doing that last night, too. But out of curiosity, Jack and Will, both of you all have won a national championship, played a national championship. What stands out more to you, the loss or the win?
I'd probably say the loss, to be honest. Just because, I don't know, the culture around here is to, win championships every year. And so, winning it was really fun, obviously. But it was also during the COVID season as well. So, it wasn't, a full stadium and you didn't have, the full atmosphere. So
Right.
This year it was, a lot different. And, it was a lot more fun until the game was over. But, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a really cool experience.
I was about to say I can't speak from a loss standpoint. I came in on 2018, so
Okay.
it was the year before. But winning was pretty unbelievable. Have a full crowd, and Will might agree with me, might not, but I feel like we outnumbered Alabama fans pretty heavily in the national championship at Lucas Oil.
Yeah. No doubt.
Well, it's been 40 years since Georgia won?
Yeah. So it's been a long time coming, to say the least.
Well, LSU fans were all been out of shape in 2011 when it had been 4. And Alabama, there was a spike in heart attacks in Alabama since they hadn't won it in a year. So, people get used to certain things in the South, right?
Most definitely.
Yep.
Hey, so what I want to talk about tonight, boys, is recruiting. I was talking to my dad a couple nights ago, and I was started asking him questions, and he's like, man, I wish I would have known. Cam, since you're a SEC all-freshman team, and you most recently went through the recruiting process, and it's all fresh in your mind. Is there anything that stands out to you about what you wish you would have known going through the process that you now know?
Yeah, especially toward the end of the process. I kind of started figuring out that it wasn't more about – if the big program offered me a scholarship and I was going to play there early, that would have been great. I was thankful enough to get a scholarship offer from Arkansas and come in here and, battle for the starting job the first day I stepped on campus. So that was a huge opportunity. But I kind of just started to figure out, I want to go somewhere where first I'm going to get a scholarship to. And second, if that opportunity for scholarship is available. And second, where I'm going to play as early as possible. That was something that really stood out to me. And that's, I think, why a big reason why I came here among many others. But I think that was the big reason why I wanted to come here, was just to really get on the field day one and start my career here.
And Will, you were highly recruited.
Yeah, I would say, I was definitely very blessed coming out of high school, with some different options. But I would say if I had one piece of advice is to go somewhere that you're loved, because, college isn't always going to be easy. You're not always going to start right away. You're not always going to play. Obviously I got hurt my freshman year, so I kind of had to go through that a little bit. So just having those people around you that are always going to be able to be there and support you, whether you're playing or you're not, was huge for me. And I felt like the people at the university were really going to take care of me.
And Jack, what's that hashtag that people at Georgia who aren't as highly recruited?
That hashtag walk-on mentality, baby. It's quite different. I guess my story, I didn't come out. I didn't receive my first offer until my last high school football game, 3 or 4 days after. So I guess for me, what stood out the most would be just find a place where you can grow the most, not only as a kicker, but as a person. And I saw that at the University of Georgia. So,
but like, how's that changed, guys? Look, Cam, it's been a long time in college football world. It's like dog years. The transfer portal is a bigger deal now. How's that affected some recruiting? Any of you guys, from what y'all seen?
I definitely think that a lot of coaches will turn to transfers, maybe sometimes over high school guys, just because those guys have had past experience in college. And I think that was like one of the big things for me was transition from high school to college as far as operation goes and stuff like that, getting used to college snapper and holder, getting used to under like a certain op time. So I think that in a sense, a coach looks for that to already be known when coming in. So I feel like that's why sometimes transfer portal guys are more recruited than a high school kid because they're not used to that transition yet.
I mean, they've already got your backup seasoned, right, Jack? Or at least they've got their eyes on who their next guy is.
Yeah, exactly. I just also wanted to ask Cam what it's like playing for Sam Pittman as a head coach because, I mean, we loved him here at UGA. So.
It is awesome. I love that dude. He really loves the specialists too. Like from a head coach's standpoint, he takes care of us, and I'm really appreciative of him. He's just he's an overall loving guy. He's obviously his coach's side as well, but he's a very good head coach. I love Pittman.
Yeah, we were crushed when he was leaving UGA. I mean, that was a huge loss to our program, and you can't replace him. So
he's done a great job at Arkansas. But then, Will, you played for Coach Cochran, and Jack, that's who you kick for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, we could have a full house roundtable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really loved Coach Cochran as well. We kind of felt like he was kind of like the glue to the program. You know, I'm sure Jack knows he's an outstanding guy, high energy guy. You know, probably one of the biggest supporters for the players. When he was at Alabama, would always, you know, if some guy was going through something, he's always going to be the first guy there to help you out. So we definitely missed him a lot, and I'm sure he's impacting players over there the same way that he was here.
Yeah, Cochran, I'd say, was my saving grace. You know, I literally was about to pick up the phone and call the coaches. This would be January 2020, and tell them that I was quitting. I was about to step away from football and just become a full-time student. And then we get the news that he was being hired, and I was like, heck, this man's probably going to change my life. I might as well stick around and see what's up and what he's got. And, I mean, as Will hit on it, he's there for everyone and anyone whenever they need it and whenever they want it. So,
dude, so you were like on the sorry, Cam, go ahead.
No, who was your coordinator before you guys got Cochran? Was it Fountain?
It was Fountain. Yeah.
Okay, so who's Fountain, Cam?
Coach Fountain's actually our special teams coordinator. So very, very, very knowledgeable special teams coach. I've kind of developed under him, and especially my mental game has developed since I've gotten in college. So he's pretty hard on us sometimes, but I think that helps the mental side of the ball game as well. So I'm just thankful to be under him as a kicker.
Tough love over there?
Yeah, sometimes he's just really hard. I mean, it's just he's hard on us, and as any coach should be. I think that really helps. If you can tell, Anders Carlson played under him. Camarda coming out of the draft this year. Rodrigo, Daniel Carlson kicks for the Raiders. Cam Niazalak, NFL free agent, gets bounced around with some teams. So he definitely knows how to develop specialists. So he's doing the right thing, and I'm really glad to be playing under him.
Do they tell you in recruiting, hey, son, I'm going to be really hard on you. This is going to be the hardest thing of your life?
No, definitely not. But I think that's just kind of this part of the recruiting process is just learning how to that transition, that short transition into, you're going to, for any player, you're going to hear a lot of stuff from coaches, and all the stuff he said was true. And he was a really truthful guy in recruiting and really good recruiter as well. So I fell in love with the way that he developed special teams and the way he put specialists in the NFL. So I really wanted to pursue that and play under him. So that's really why I chose here. That was the biggest reason why I chose here.
What about you, Will?
About our special teams coordinator here now. I mean, I've had 4 now. I've had a lot of special teams coordinators since I've been here. It's crazy how like the coaching turnaround at all schools, but really here at Alabama. I mean, a lot of guys will. I mean, obviously they'll come here because it's a great opportunity, but then if they do well, they're going to get
Right.
even more opportunities. So yeah, I'm on my fourth coordinator now. I'm on like my fourth special teams GA as well. So pretty much like every year, I had Coach Banks, who's now at Texas for 2 years, and then
Mhm.
we had Coach Graham, who's here, came from Tennessee, came here for like 2 months, and then he ended up leaving. We got Coach Sabota from Rice, and then he was here last year. Now we have Coach Hutzer that was at Ole Miss last year, and he's done a really good job so far. Like he's super high energy, brings a lot of passion. So I think it'll help the specialist room as well as the rest of the special teams. But yeah, I've kind of had it all with all the coaches at different styles. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Fountain. He's very high energy, probably similar to Hustler, but he just brings the energy every day. And I think that's something that special teams need sometimes, because sometimes a lot of guys that are coming out of high school, especially if you're really highly rated, have never played special teams in high school. So I think the energy that special teams coaches bring is much needed.
So that was Cam Little. He's at Arkansas, freshman All SEC last season. Hit a bunch of huge kicks. The one that stands out to me is Texas A&M. Will Reichard, who's got a cannon of leg and has ever since he was born in the late 90s, early 2000s. And Jack, I mean, dude, you started on the very bottom of the totem pole and nearly called it quits. What made you decide to come back? I know Cochran, there's a change and Cochran was coming in, but was there anything else that prompted that decision?
My mindset, I guess, coming into college was really I'd say a little bit different from these two guys. Was, this football thing was just going to be something to put on the resume, and that was about it. I'd never expected to play a snap. I was just, it is what it is. And then as I said, Cochran coming in and just knowing that I would have kept asking myself, what if I stayed with football? What if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? And I didn't want to keep asking those questions. So I kind of decided, you know what, it's better for me to stay than to quit.
And the next season you kicked the game winner against Cincinnati in the Peach Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and you destroy that camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So you guys obviously all highly recruited now that you're on the team. How does recruiting work once you're actually on the team? Like, you got to earn a job now. And there's guys that are older than you. What's that like?
I definitely think, like, when you're on campus and you're trying to earn that job, you kind of just you want to turn and look at the guy next to you and how he's doing and how his numbers look, how his ball looks, and that stuff. You kind of just, but it's like, for me, I figured out pretty early on that it's like a personal journey. You have to figure out, you really just got to focus on yourself. And I think even at camps, when I was going through like Cole's, any type of recruiting camp like that, any kicking camp, I just kind of had to figure out, you know what, I don't need to pay attention to the ball next to me. I just need to hit my ball. And as long as I hit my ball, I'm just fine. So it's more of a personal journey rather than worrying about other people. Just worry about yourself and how you're progressing. And once you find your rhythm of that, you'll excel greatly.
Yeah, I mean, Cam hit it spot on. Like, competition does breed success to a point, but at the end of the day, it's not whether his ball looks better than your ball. It's all about yourself and how are you maturing, how are you growing, how are you improving day in and day out. If you get stuck there looking at someone else's ball, then you're not going to be hitting your A ball. You're not going to be hitting the best B balls. So,
yeah, I would agree with both of you guys. I think y'all hit it pretty spot on.
Man, it doesn't take too much SEC experience to breed a lot of wisdom.
No, it does not. I think it's just experience and competition at like during the game, like going up watching, especially at LSU, like Cade York hit from I think 64 in warm up, and he just like didn't even watch the ball, like it wasn't even halfway there, and he turns around and goes to the other side. Like, that's pretty crazy. That he's got an extremely talented leg. So watching that was like, I was like, okay, just like I don't need to worry about that, and you start worrying about like my ball and warm up and stuff like that. Just worry about myself, and you'll figure that out pretty quick when you get to SEC football. That it's all about yourself and how you're doing rather than what the other guy's doing.
But that walk-on mentality, my man, only a few people. I can only Rodrigo comes to mind. I'm thinking of other – I don't think Blair Walsh was a walk-on.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that world of suck like you do.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it feels like I'm all back to square one right now too, because the holding situation, Jake's left.
Yeah.
So now I've got to deal with whether it's going to be the new Australian holding or if we're going to get Stetson to hold. So
You got Moat still there snapping?
yeah, Moat's still
Okay.
there, but Moat's still getting reps with the twos for field goal. So I've got Payne.
Oh,
Walker.
yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he's staying to get his master's. So,
Nice.
but I know that Will's been through that holding situation and had a tough time with that. So I'm sure he can speak from experience.
Yeah,
Just a
I
couple
mean,
first-round picks.
I would say like a lot of people, like other kickers would like give me crap for like saying like I need to go to Coach Saban and tell him that like I don't want a quarterback holding for me. But like to be honest with you, like they were good holders. So like, and we didn't have anybody else that could hold. So it was like, I mean, we also had like we had through my first 2 years we had like 6 different guys punt in games. So it was like I'm not going to go to Coach Saban and be like, hey, look, I want this guy to hold when like there's no telling if he's going to be like on the travel squad. And like, Tua and Mac were like, I mean, Tua was actually a really, really good holder, and then Mac was like good as well. So, I mean, maybe I didn't get as many reps with them as like I would if there was a punter holding, but they were always like super chill with getting reps after practice, and they were good holders. So I didn't really have anything to complain about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got Cam, who's got the best holder in the nation, supposedly last year.
Had a really good off last year. I'm not gonna lie. Silver was probably, in my opinion, he was the best short snapper in the country. That dude would put it on the money every single time. Even on
Who's
punt
that?
snap. Jordan Silver. He's in the draft this year, so but he was an excellent long and short snapper. He put it on the money every time, and I had a great holder with Bauer last year. So we just had a really good operation. Working on a new snapper in right now. Bauer's still holding for me, but a little bit to the piece of an operation. So
Yeah.
Sounds like y'all that didn't come to mind when you were being recruited. Hey, I'm going to get different coaches, different holders, different snappers.
Yeah, not one bit.
A little experience in the SEC breeds a lot of wisdom, and that's what you boys all have. Hey, look, I try to keep these things short, so if y'all want to go around the horn and tell us where to find you on social media and how to follow you.
yeah, you guys can find me at Cameron G. Little on Twitter and Instagram. If you have any kicking advice, DMs, I'll look at a couple clips if you want me to, or just ask about any recruiting advice, just slide into the DMs and I'll help out. So.
Yeah, my Instagram name is just Will Reichard 16, and then Twitter is just Will Reichard, and same here. If y'all have any advice or need any advice or want any suggestions, you can just slide in my DMs and I got you.
And my Instagram's jack.pod and Twitter's Jack Podlesny. And you can also DM me on Instagram. It's probably best if you need any advice. I'll try and give you any advice I can, but I'll help.
They've got the blue check.
It's awesome.
I know. I saw your Instagram.
Blue check.
Where's the blue check at?
Not quite there, man. Not quite on their level yet.
You got to get a fat ring first, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Just don't choke your new snapper or holder in the process, right? Well, hey, man, that's how we roll over here on these roundtables. Like Thomas Morstead said, what you give will grow. What you keep, you lose. And you guys came out here, share a little bit about who you are, where you came from, where you're going, and I really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, James.
For sure. Thanks for having us on.
Appreciate it, boys. I'll catch y'all later.
Sounds
See
good.
y'all.
Thank you.
Welcome to Simple Kicking with your host, James Hairston.